Hey guys, and welcome to Get Life Podcast Kunai. I believe this is the episode after the Persona episode, which, in my opinion, wasn't the best episode that we've recorded.
Really?
But, yeah, no, I'm not a big fan of it. It's just like for you, the Tempest episode wasn't your best.
Well,
in your opinion, I feel that Persona wasn't the best. I felt like such a fangirl. That was the whole episode. It was just me fangirling over cheating.
Well, technically, I did like the Persona 4 animation. So,
no, the animation was good. I just didn't like my performance in that.
Okay,
yeah,
that's fair.
But anyway, I don't know why I said that. But this episode is about Attack on Titan, and we have the normal people here, but we have someone listening, and this is. I don't know what to think of it because it's the first time. I'm not sure if we're allowed to mention his name.
We're not supposed to because he's not having any participation on the episode.
So he who cannot be named.
He who cannot be named.
Sam.
Yeah. You just named him.
That's all right.
It's just Sam, but there's a bunch of Sams in the world.
It's just there's like billions of Sams in the world, probably.
well, there's male Sams and there's female Sams, so yeah.
Yeah, there's loads of Sams. So we don't know.
Mystery now.
So we kind of like minimize our demographic to like million people that are named Sam, both male and female.
Yeah, essentially, and
he's
also from the UK. Which is cool because
now reducing our demographic even further from 1 million to like 5,000 people named Sam in the UK.
No, not 5,000. It's a common name. It's a really common name. Isn't that right, Sam?
Okay, so we're talking in the thousands then.
In hundreds of thousands.
Hundreds of thousands. Okay.
Yeah. It's a really common name. Anyway, Sam is not replying, so I'm not sure if he. Yeah, he probably left the conversation. Anyway, so yeah, he's here. He's just observing us today.
Yep.
I feel like it's like some sort of Ofsted report, and he's just gonna be like, "You did shit," or something like that. I don't know.
Yep.
Ofsted, by the way, is like they examine teachers and stuff,
probably,
or something like that. I don't really know what they do, but yeah. He's taking notes. Okay, cool. He's taking notes.
Oh my God.
I don't know what to think.
Oh my God! So what would people think of Get a Life Podcast Kunai now?
I think the thing is we're going to be rated on a couple of things, and one of them will be how awesome I am. That's one thing. That's one thing I'm going to be rated on.
Or overall foolishness of this whole concept. I think.
But that's all right. I don't mind the foolishness. I think it's also the sexiness of my voice because I know I sound sexy.
No comment.
So he's not okay, he's kidding. Okay, so he's not taking notes. Okay, anyway, let's get back onto topic. Attack on Titan is what we're talking about today. Tyson?
Yep.
Okay, but before we start on the formal discussion of Attack on Titan, I just got a little disclaimer to make. Get a Life Podcast Kunai is an anime discussion podcast under the Get a Life group, which includes the original Get a Life podcast, GALP Germany and GALP France. We run on a monthly schedule with a new episode of Kunai at the end of the month. Because this is an anime discussion podcast, expect heavy spoilers. Also, we aren't covering the manga in any extent for those shows that are based off one. We can be found on Stitcher and the iTunes Store. If you'd like to recommend a show for us to watch and make an episode of Kunai, send us your suggestion on Twitter at Get a Life Podcast using the hashtag GALPKunai. We only ask that you suggest shows that have at most 30 episodes. We got our lives to attend to, okay? So with that out of the way, let's start with Attack on Titan. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to read this introduction as well, so excuse like the pacing of the whole thing. Several hundred years ago, humans were nearly exterminated by Titans. Titans are typically several stories tall, seems to have no intelligence, devour human beings, and worst of all, seems to do it for the pleasure rather than as a food source. A small percentage of humanity survive by walling themselves in a city protected by extremely high walls, even taller than the biggest Titans. Flash forward to the present, and the city has not seen a Titan in over 100 years. Teenage boy Eren and his foster sister Mikasa witness something horrific as the city walls are destroyed by a colossal Titan that appears out of thin air. As the smaller Titans flood the city, the two kids watch in horror as their mother is...
There's a modem? Okay.
Good job.
Modem mother As their mother is eating alive, Eren boasts that he will murder every single Titan and take revenge for all of mankind. So that's it. So that's a pretty basic introduction of what Attack on Titan is. It was, or is, I don't know, one of the most popular anime. Like, it was like really hot last year.
Yeah, it was like a blockbuster.
It was a blockbuster. So let's start the episode with the initial impressions. Who you two want to start?
Alright, Bish, do you want to start?
Oh yeah, okay, I'll start. My initial impressions, I'm going to start of my preconceptions regarding Attack on Titan. Really, I didn't really give a shit about it to begin with. And to be honest, I only watched this because Tyson suggested it. I had no interest in watching it. And the reason is because it's such a, I wouldn't say shonen show, but it's like so mainstream. I don't want to sound like a hipster.
Oh, we have a hipster.
Oh my god, yeah, we got a
everyone
hipster
loves
here.
it. It's true, but everyone loves it, and I'm more of a rom-com person and a shoujo anime guy. So
Yeah, I understand.
for me, it's very difficult to go and want to watch this anime. Also, I was really freaked out by the way Titans looked. Essentially, they're like human beings without flesh, and they're giants, which is crazy. That freaked me out, and that's why I was like, nope, I'm not going to watch it. I don't know what it is. I'm afraid as well of them. And I always see the hype. Like, I remember I went to MCM and there was some like massive hype over it because they had like people there who had something to do with the anime or the manga or something. I don't really remember. Maybe Sam remembers. Because he was there and he cosplayed. I think I saw him, I'm not sure. But everyone cosplays for Attack on Titan. And you see merchandise everywhere and I'm like, God, I want to get away from this. It's like so mainstream. But when I started watching it, I was pleasantly surprised because it wasn't what I expected at all. And Tyson,
Yes.
slow clap because
Why big?
I'm really impressed with your suggestions. Honestly, but seriously, it's for me. It's so unexpected. It was like stuff I like, but in terms of like what I like in video games, not what I like in anime. Because I like kind of like the strategic medieval style things in video games, and this is reminded me of video games I used to play. Like Kessen reminded me of Dynasty Warriors at some point, and I'll explain later why. But it was refreshing. And what do you think, Kevin?
Alright, so I already watched Attack on Titan at the time of Tyson's suggestion. So I watched it a few months after it came out, when it was I think the 20th episode aired when I started watching. So it's been quite a while. I don't exactly remember my initial impressions, but what I do remember is that I didn't watch it when it first came out because it's kind of similar reason to Bish in the way that I just saw a bunch of hype for it and it was really mainstream and I was like, it's potentially interesting, but for some reason I just never really decided to start it until some of my closer friends recommended it. So I was like, hey, I've got nothing to lose, right? So I watched it, and I gotta say, I wouldn't say it's the best anime ever, but it's certainly, I hold it in high regards, honestly. I think that it does a lot of things right, and overall it's a pretty enjoyable anime.
I will also admit that I kind of got drowned in the hype for Attack on Titan as well, because we're talking 2013. I was mostly into Tumblr, and most of the people I follow were blogging about Attack on Titan. And by the time I was, and I'm sorry to bring free again, because that's pretty much what I was doing. I was only watching that regular show, and I'm like, okay, let me check Attack on Titan as well. I think the high point for me, like, I didn't came in with an impression. I just thought I just was lured into by the beautiful art. It was kind of like Persona 4 in that sense. And the thing that the people complimented most was the animation, which is really, really brilliant. I certainly had to take my hat off for that. Other than that, I just kind of like passed it away as a typical shonen show, because that's basically what Attack on Titan is. Saying I'll probably get into the things that gripe me later on, but it was an enjoyable watch. It's like one of those if I had to describe this anime as like a movie, I would have to say it's a Michael Bay directed one, because that's one that where you shut off your brain and then just look at the pretty explosions, and in this case, just the pretty animation. All right, so with initial impressions out of the way, let's talk about the characters. Who wants
right.
Kevin, do you want to start?
Sure. Sure. All right. So there's a lot to talk about because Attack on Titan has a pretty sizable cast, and most of them don't make it to the end of the first season. But regarding sad times, yeah, Game of Thrones, yeah. But
yeah, I know that was the thing I thought of. Game of Thrones.
I'm like, who the fuck wrote this story? God damn it, George! Are you writing anime now? Anyways, first off, I'd like to start with the three main characters, which would be Eren Yeager, Mikasa Ackerman, and Armin. I don't know what.
Arlert. I think that's how his name is pronounced.
Yeah, Armin Arlet. I found regarding Armin. No, not Armin. I was about to say he's the main character. Eren. He's the main character, and my initial impressions of him were I just did not like him because everything about his character in the first few episodes just screamed Naruto. And personally, to put it lightly, I just find Naruto annoying, right? And I think that in the first few episodes, I found Eren I just didn't like him because he's that type of character, the main character that is so passionate about things that he will literally do extremely stupid. He just acts like an idiot a lot of the time, right? And Mikasa was there kind of like to regulate him, like his stupidness, keep him out of trouble. But by the end of the show, I gotta say, Eren probably one of my favorite characters because unlike Naruto, I don't want to talk too much about that show here, but unlike Naruto, I find that his passion, his strong spirit, because Eren has a very strong spirit, I think it's interesting because his literal motivation during the show is to avenge his mother, who was eaten by a Titan in the first episode, right? So it's his personal quest for vengeance, and I think I really like that dark aspect of his motive, right? That's his main driving force, is to, kill all the Titans and get revenge for everything he's lost.
Now that you mentioned that, would you draw some parallels to from Eren to what was this guy on Blast of Tempest, the one that was fighting for
Yoshino?
vengeance? Yoshino.
Oh,
yeah. Not Yoshino. It was the other guy. Yeah.
I also liked Mahito because he was just so crazily obsessed with this idea of revenge, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that was really cool, right? Whereas some other characters like Naruto, I find that I just don't find him appealing. Right? Regarding Armin, I think Armin, he's not a bad character. He's not a great character. I mean, compared to Mikasa and Eren, he's basically the brains of the team. He's not a particularly great combat, but he is very clever and very smart, so he's the one who makes all the strategies, so I think he's really helpful to the team. But except that I personally find that I don't dislike him nor like him. It's just that I'm kind of neutral regarding him, because one thing I don't like about him is that he lacks confidence, and this is shown basically throughout the anime. Like during the first half of the anime, he just isn't confident about himself. He feels like he's dragging down the team, right? And he's kind of like the opposite of Eren, I would say. He always thinks before acting, and he's not so strong-willed and hard-headed like Armin, like Eren. So I find that I can't relate to weak characters. He's just not physically strong. He doesn't have a strong power of will. Compared to the other characters, he wouldn't be among my top 5 favorite characters, let's just say. Regarding Mikasa, for any Mikasa shippers out there, before I start on this, I'm so sorry that I have to crush your dreams, that I have to sink your ships. But I just have a different opinion. I don't dislike Mikasa. I'll say it right now. I dislike Mikasa, but I don't hate her. I just simply don't understand the excitement and the hype around her. I mean, if you go on Tumblr or just basically any art website, like if you search up Attack on Titan, you see Mikasa everywhere, right? And people talk about her all the time. She's mentioned in fan art, fanfics, you name it. And personally, I don't get that. I mean, other than being a main character, I what's so great about her. Personally, I dislike her because of her attitude. Really, because first of all, I find that her emotions are rather limited. She doesn't show much emotion during the show, and the only times she does show emotion is when something involving Eren or Armin is involved, right? And she kind of acts like a bitch to the other characters. And if you've read the manga, then you'll know what I'm talking about. It happens a lot later on as well. And she's also very, other than being very unemotional, I think that she just seems really stereotypical to me. I mean, she seems like a Mary Sue, in my opinion. And for
Mary
those who
Sue?
don't know what I'll explain it now. So for those who don't know what a Mary Sue is, I'm going to read the description off of Urban Dictionary. So, Mary Sue is a fictional character who is so perfect as to be annoying. So, a Mary Sue character is usually written by a beginning author. Often the Mary Sue is self-insert with a few improvements. The Mary Sue character is always the most beautiful, the most smart, the most powerful, and in short, she's the most perfect girl. She usually falls in love with the author's favorite character and winds up upstaging all these characters in the book's universe. So that basically fits her description, right? I mean, almost word for word. I just find that, honestly, I compare her to Senna in the sense that she's supposedly perfect without any faults, and she acts so arrogant, I find, towards other characters other than Eren and Armin. I just don't like her for that. It's just that she doesn't have any respect for anyone other than Eren and Armin. I think that element of haughtiness just, I don't know, I just dislike that, honestly.
Before I hand it over to Bish, I'm gonna have to play devil's advocate here because I think this discussion is necessary to kind of figure out if your dislike of Mikasa is justified. But there's no cute way of putting that. We're talking about a girl that had both her parents murdered practically in front of her. And then the one thing that sticks with her are Eren's words that fight. If you fight, you live. If you don't, you die. Something like that. I think it was referenced in the third or the fourth episode. I don't recall exactly right now.
In that part where she's about to be killed by this Titan, and she fights because she remembers the words Eren says. But yeah, you were saying?
I think that because she was fairly limited in regards to human interaction, so I can kind of understand why she has such a fixation on Eren and Armin. And Armin is only on the circle because Eren knows him. She's in the. I think the fact that why most people, myself included, are attracted to Mikasa as a character. Maybe character isn't the right word because we're also including her behavior or something like that. Is that personally, I don't find her to be over-sexualized, and that's been a problem. That's a problem with both video games and anime, where especially the shonen shows, they tend to over-sexualize women to the point in which they can make a softcore porn movie, but Mikasa's not it. You may find fan art of her in big clothing, but that's not official. That's not official. Also, the fact that I will say this with full knowledge that it may sound weird is that Mikasa actually looks like a survivor. She looks like a woman that is strong, that is willing. She may not show it in her face at all, but I've stumbled across a few official pieces of art that depict Mikasa as being well built. Not so much as I didn't saw it mostly as fan service, but I saw it as Mikasa being a strong woman. And again, this is not peculiar of a shonen show, especially if there was to be any official art that had any sort of fan service in it. Is they would probably put Mikasa in a bikini and let's call it a day.
May I comment something? Just to say something. It's not her appearance that was bugging me. It's more of her personality, the way she acts towards other characters. I mean, it's understandable that she has a fixation towards Eren and Armin, specifically Eren, but that's not the problem with her. For me, I find that the problem with her is that she only fixates on Armin and Eren, and that she acts kind of like rash towards other characters, and that's what I dislike about her personality.
I guess I can really argue. I can really argue with that, but I'm just kind of like giving the fan side of the story. I suppose you can say it. Probably you won't find much disagreement in regards to her personality, but I don't feel as if just because of that alone, just like write her off the book. I'm just gonna mention that Mikasa's unusual for a shonen show, especially given the for the reasons that I mentioned. What's your take on this, Bish?
Well, for the whole Mikasa debate, I think that Mikasa is an amazing character, and the reason I say this is because she's just really awesome. And you mentioned that she's a Mary Sue. I disagree with that, and the reason is because she has a flaw, she has a weakness, and it's a major weakness. And the thing that gives her strength is also her weakness, and that is Eren, you know? She always, constantly throughout this anime, looks like towards Eren for like her strength, her source of strength, and we see that. But at the same time, it's her weakness, because as soon as she thinks that Eren's dead, she just gives up the will to fight, you know what I mean? And I find that, you know, she's a bit clingy. Well, a bit is an understatement, but there's reasons for that, and the reason is because she was saved by him. You know, she was probably going to be sold, and who knows what would have happened then. And she has a really dark story, and I find it's beautiful that she even keeps a scarf. And I was like, why is she always wearing a scarf? And I found out, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cute. But like I said, even when Eren is like, oh, go cut your hair, it might interfere with the 3D maneuver gear, and she goes and she cuts her hair, and I'm like, you just listen to what Eren says. Okay, cool. There's nothing wrong with that, but be your own person, Mikasa. That's what I think sometimes. But like I said, she's a cool character. A character which I really dislike is Armin. And the reason that is because, yes, I like how he thinks before he speaks and whatever, but he's just useless to a certain extent, you know? Not once have I seen him fight. Yes, he is a strategist and whatnot, but strategists fight as well. Mm-hmm. What was the whole point of him undergoing training if in the end he was just not going to fight? It's understandable, but
I think it's more due to the fact that he wanted to stay with his friends. It was either it was either the military or just going to the garden, the fields to work for food, and probably he would have been sacrificed with the whole retaking of Wall Maria event at the beginning, which basically, and it's said much later in the story that basically all those people were sent to die, including Armin's grandfather.
Yeah, that was understandable, but like I said, there's other reasons I don't like him. He's always doubting himself. You know, if you're that good of a strategist, there's no need to doubt yourself. That's one thing. And I understand, we're all human beings, we all doubt ourselves sometimes, and we doubt the abilities that we have. But another thing is, like, he's also fueled by that friendship. Like, he needs that to survive. Like, he's useless without his friends, because his friends wouldn't give him that support. His friends wouldn't be like, you could do it.
See how he reacted when Eren died.
Mm-hmm. And exactly, the way he reacted, and he was like, oh, I'm so sorry, like, it's my fault, I should have died instead. I'm like, no, there was a reason that you survived. Exactly, there was a reason that he was saved. You know, Eren wouldn't have saved him if he wasn't useful. And the thing is, he is, but he's making himself useless by thinking that he is. And that's one reason I don't like him. Another thing is, I don't like his hairstyle. That's it. It's very...
Wow.
It seems very stupid, but I just don't like his hairstyle. It's too much like Mikasa's hairstyle, and just...
Actually, Mikasa copied Armin, because Armin had that hairstyle.
No, but it doesn't suit him.
Mikasa painted that hairstyle now? It's the Mikasa haircut?
It's the Mikasa haircut. It's because I prefer Mikasa more, so it is the Mikasa haircut.
Wow.
And she's the one that made it popular.
Okay, you guys should go to your girlfriends, like the male or the male
Wow.
audience. Go.
Oh, I thought you meant us,
go-
because I
no,
don't have a girlfriend. I don't think Kevin does either. I'm not sure if we'll ever have girlfriends. Ladies, if you're interested, my email is get-a-life at outlook.com. Alternatively, you can tweet at me at GetLifePodcast. Hashtag. I don't know what hashtag we can use for that.
Hashtag Mikasa hairstyle.
Hashtag
Mikasa hairstyle.
Hashtag GLP get bish laid.
Yeah. You could do that. Get bish laid. Yay.
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 But
there'll be like a big party when that happens. I'm gonna invite you all.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
happen.
discuss like my personal life on this podcast, but ladies have a suggestion there. You just go to your stylist and you say you want the Mikasa hairstyle. You probably please your boyfriends or your girlfriends if we have any lesbian listeners in the audience. But that's none of my business. Let's move on.
Yeah.
I actually had a comment.
Yes.
Could I?
Yes.
Could I say that? So regarding Bish's dislike for Armin, like I said, I don't think he's my favorite character. I don't think he's the worst character. I am going to go ahead and assume Bish's role towards my opinion on Mikasa, and I'm going to defend Armin here. While I completely agree regarding the personality, that I find him kind of like not a very strong character. That's one of the reasons I don't like him. In terms of his role, when you said he was kind of useless, I think that despite the fact that like I said, he isn't the strongest, the fastest, but I still think he plays a vital role in the team, right? I mean, where Eren would have simply rushed into the first Titan he's seen, it's thanks to Armin that the Scouting Legion got as far as they did. I mean, I could probably name out a couple of instances where...
No, I disagree with that, and I'll tell you why. Because there was this one thing when they were like, oh, when he figures out things, I'm like, well, I figured that out before you, first of all. I'm not trying to compare myself to Armin, but even the leaders of the scouting people, they figured it out way before. You know, they figured it out that Titan was a human in, like, that could summon a Titan.
They couldn't determine who, though. And
they couldn't, but, you know,
They still have a point there.
Even when Armin was like, yeah, I figured out who it was, I'm thinking it was like, oh yeah, no, I finally figured who it was. And I think he was just bullshitting from the beginning, like, oh yeah, I know. And then it was like, personally, I found out way before Armin, and I'm guessing they've done that because it's a bit obvious.
Yeah.
And whatnot.
I mean,
but
the female Titan could have been Annie if you want.
No, it couldn't have.
Annie.
It couldn't have.
You missed the pun right there. Come on.
No, do you know why? And let me explain. Because Annie, when she had to choose, she was like, oh yeah, I'm just going to go with the military police. And I'm like, why? Why are you going with the military police? What's going on? And the female Titan had blonde hair. And like, she's like the only... I think, well, no, there's another character, the goddess. She has blonde hair as well. But I don't think she would have been the Titan. I ruled her out completely. So I was like, it could be... The only person was Annie. And she kicks as well, and that's something I noticed. And I was like, well, this Titan kicks, and they're good with hand-to-hand combat. And
put two together.
I kind of figured out who the female Titan was with the battle pose. That's same point. Up. With the 2 fists ups. I think I don't know if anyone is masterful of martial arts. I don't know what kind of style Annie has practiced or.
Any style.
Personally, I'm a white belt in karate.
Okay.
Just so people know, don't mess with me, guys.
I'll
probably run away from a fight.
But seriously, like anyone has any idea what type of martial art from the post only shows?
For some reason, I think she's more MMA.
Okay.
But that's. I'm just taking that from what I can see from Dead or Alive 5, because I don't know much about fighting, but it reminds me of Mila from Dead or Alive 5. Yeah, that's what I think. I think she's more MMA.
Okay, I'm sorry for I'm sorry for interrupting the discussion. Did you guys have anything more to say? You want to continue?
Oh yeah, I want to continue regarding the characters which I like and don't like. Eren is an interesting one because he's very hot-headed and he's quick to make decisions, and he's just like he also at one point needs Armin to make his decisions for him, which I personally don't like. I'm like, dude, make your own decisions. don't really rely on someone else because they could be making the wrong decision, and he should have made his own decisions. Like, he could have saved like majority of his team if he turned into a Titan, and he's just regretting. And I'm like, dude, you should have just not listened to them. It's all well and good that you trusted them and whatever, but they died in the end. Like, he could have trusted them and at least reduced, oh no, not trusted them, he should have trusted himself and reduced the amount of deaths that happened. Because honestly, I did not expect that everyone would die except for Levi. You know, did not expect that, and it was kind of sad, especially when the father of, I forgot her name, when the father's like, oh, how is she, like,
is it big?
Like,
I'm sorry. Is she someone from the Levi Corp?
Yeah,
I should be able to find her name, but
I forgot her name. She's the ginger. I think she has ginger hair. I'm not sure.
I'll look for it. You continue because I should have it.
But even then, the majority of the Levi's group, like when their family were like, "Oh, what happened?" and they're coming home, and they were really excited. And I'm like, "Well, these guys are like the best of the best." Yet
I remember the scene like where the father of this particular character, if I'm thinking correctly, is like, oh, so and so made your group, I'm really proud of that. But Levi was looking like, is it Petra? Is her name Petra?
I think so.
Yeah, sure. I think Levi had a thing for her because it kind of be seen in his expression that he was really hurt about losing Petra.
I think he was hurt about losing his whole team. Like, even the guy that bites his tongue, like, I don't like him, but I felt sad when he died. I felt sad when most of his team died.
I will admit I was shocked, to be honest.
It was like, they're the best of the best, and yet they still died. And Mikasa lives. How can Mikasa fight? It was annoying because like Mikasa was there fighting and whatever, and she survived, yet the rest of the team didn't, and they had like years of experience.
I see.
Yeah, and another thing is going back to Eren. One thing I didn't like was the fact that he murdered when he was a kid. It made the anime really dark for me, and I was like, whoa, a kid murdered 2 people. Yes, he was saving a young girl who was probably gonna be involved in some sort of human trafficking of some sort, but still, like, he murdered 2 people. Yes, he murdered bad guys, but still, it was like, whoa, it puts it into perspective here. Like, they were forced, like, he was put into that position at a young age, and maybe that's what made him the person that he is. He's very vengeful. It's quite heroic in some ways, but in another way, I can't really imagine a child doing that in real life.
I also have to wonder what was Eren's motivation to save Mikasa back then, because he could have turned a blind eye to what was happening.
No, because his father was like, well, here you go, this is a new friend, and he only had one friend. And I think it was that he wanted more friends, possibly, or he wanted something else. And just saying.
I'm gonna take the joke. I'm gonna try to dismantle it, because that has been something that has been quite confusing to me throughout the anime. Like, what are Mikasa's true feelings to Eren? Does she see him as family? Does she see him as a lover?
I think that Mikasa wants to start her own family with Eren. Let's just put it that way. She wants to, have kids or whatever. I don't know. I think that she wants to have a family with him, because she says, you're the only family I have, and that can be misconstrued, that can be taken in many different ways, whether it's, I think of you as a brother, I think of you as a sister, that kind of stuff, or this is the person I could be with, potentially. And I think that's how I think. I think that she wants him.
But remember how we were talking about non-incestuous ships.
But it's not incest. They're not related.
That was exactly what I was thinking. But I was always confused over the fact, in some in a series of gag OVAs that we're gonna be talking about a little bit later. It was kind of made evident that Mikasa actually was in love with Eren, but I'm gonna have to contest that, because at least in the anime, I'm not gonna contest it in a gag episode, but not necessarily because Eren saved Mikasa. Is that Eren is in love with her, and I think she has all of this like warp. I really don't know how to feel about that. But like fandom, I'm not gonna contest your ships. Like you want to ship Eren and Mikasa, like okay, they're not like blood brothers, so yes, you can ship them. But yeah, that was kind of like a confusion I was seeing throughout the whole episode. Even when she was defeated and in the battle for Shinganshima, I think it was the first arc of the story, and then again when Eren transforms into a Titan to fight Annie in her female Titan form inside the city. It sent a lot of mixed signs. I didn't know what to make of them.
What I think regarding that, I think it's obvious that Eren doesn't feel the same way.
Mm-hmm.
I think he feels that she's more of a sister or more of a mother figure in some ways, because to be honest, Eren's mother was always like, oh, Mikasa, you deal with him or whatever, and I'm like, whoa, well she probably has taken on that motherly role, and maybe that's what he thinks. That's what I think actually, but in terms of how Mikasa feels about him, it's completely obvious. Other characters know as well, because there was I think one person from the seniors or whatever they call them, when Eren was turning into a Titan to move the rock, they were like, well, go save your boyfriend or something like that, and I was just like, well, other characters can see it, how come Eren can't see it? Eren can't see those feelings, and to be honest, in most cases you don't see them. Like if you think of someone in a certain way, you're not going to see the other feelings. You tend to block them out. And I think Mikasa is just like, she wants him in that sense. Like it's pretty damn obvious. Like she even cuts her hair for him. She keeps the scarf. To be honest, I wouldn't cut my hair for someone, and I wouldn't keep a scarf that's owned by someone. Yes, this is really all like perfect and whatever, but
it does all like small. I think the director's probably trying to overtly shift two characters, like what happened.
Yeah, of course.
And I think it's kind of obvious that Mikasa thinks that Eren is just the one that's right. So.
I agree. Yeah, it's the people doing it. It's they want to go directly with that route, but that's how it is, and I can't change that. And yeah, another thing is other characters. I like Levi. He's badass, and when I heard he was a thug, I did not expect it at all, especially like he loves to clean.
He's really cool.
Yeah, like that had been the subject of much fun made out of Levi.
And I like that, and it reminds me of Ryuji from Toradora, and I love Toradora, so that was exciting to see. And another thing was all the other people in Levi's group. That woman, the scientist woman that does the experiments, she was interesting, to say the least, actually. I forgot her name, but she had this emotional attachment to the Titans, and I'm like, whoa, that's crazy. Doing the experiments and naming them, Bean, and I forgot the other one's name, and when they died...
Are you talking about Hanji?
I think so. I don't remember her
but
name.
yeah, it's like Gaga Girl who named the Titans. I thought that was really, really weird. Really.
No, I liked it. She had this emotional attachment, as if the way I felt it was like she has no other people she can talk to about Titans.
We should talk to her, and like she was so excited that everybody else, like the Levi squad, just left the room and left Hanji with Eren just alone, and then she went on and on and on until morning. I thought that was funny.
And it was all the information that he already knows. That was
probably yeah.
He even said it. Like she asked, like they probably told you all this while you're being trained, and he was nodding.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, when those Titans died, I was just like, whoa, she just lost an emotional connection. Even though Titans aren't human, and we think that they are completely stupid, they actually they react to certain things. They feel pain.
Do you recall the episode when Hanji captures the female Titan, like that she was like, "I'm gonna make you suffer," or something like that, because she already had an idea of who that she was the one who killed her beloved Titans, I guess.
Yeah, well, she was the person that killed her Titans. But the thing is, it was just like, even with the Titans that she captured beforehand, like even when they died, because I think they were taken out of sunlight for a long time, and that's why they died. She even talks about them in such a way, and for someone to name something, it's as if to say that those Titans were her friends or her pet, in that sense, because there's people that have a really strong connection with their pets, name them and whatever, and they think of them as friends, you know, man's best friend, whatever. But this is in a similar way, in a similar fashion, and it's, I don't know, I feel very sorry for her because of her Titan friends died. And she's not just this crazy woman who experiments on them. She talks to them, she reads to them, like, it's quite sweet, actually. And
it is sweet, but it actually has a purpose, because she wants to know if the Titans are capable of intelligence, like at all. And maybe she does it in the sweetest way, like her work, as crazy as it is, benefits mankind.
I mean, it's really interesting, because if any viewers out there, I would recommend reading the manga, because there's actually a very, very interesting explanation to Titans and their origins and why they are as they are in the anime, right? So I highly recommend you give the manga a look if you already watched the show.
But we also have to remind our listeners that we're discussing the anime only here. Like,
yeah, I know, but I still want to give the manga a mention, because without it, there would be no.
The story of Attack on Titan continues. It continues after the anime, and there's apparently going to be a second season. I don't know when it's coming. Nobody does.
I think it's in production at the moment. In regards with the second season, there's a lot that I really want to see, especially that thing right at the end where I think it's a bit of the ground pops up and you see this like Titan underneath the ground.
It's not really the ground, it's the wall. It's the wall.
Whatever. It looked like the ground to me.
Don't you come with sass to me. No sass, okay?
Girl.
I'm gonna smack you.
Wow. Discipline there.
I'm disciplining you over the internet.
That was a bit aggressive.
Yes, it was.
You know, I don't know what to think of that, Tyson. You hurt me.
Yeah, I heard you.
What is love? Baby, don't hurt me.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Now you put that song in my head. I blame you.
Kevin was the one that showed it to me, so blame him.
Oh my god.
I didn't know what
you
it was
are both
before
responsible. You are both.
I downloaded it on my phone, and now I listen to it every day. I don't listen to it every day, but I downloaded it.
So now I had to introduce to you Danger High Voltage. Danger! High voltage! When we touch,
I think I've heard of that.
When we kiss,
but
danger! High voltage! And like,
are you singing right now?
Electric 6, yeah. We're doing a little karaoke here. Get a Live podcast.
Oh my! The thing is, quick thing. I just wanted to get off point. I wanted to do karaoke with Arif S. Kinchin, and we were supposed to do it, but then I realized there's a lot of copyright behind that. And he's an awesome guy, by the way. If you guys want to go check that episode I did with him, he's the voice of Pierce from Saints Row, and he normally does those kind of things in Saints Row where he's like randomly singing. If you played Saints Row, you would know.
Saints Row is all about the randomness. It's all about the randomness.
It is, and I think Saints Row, if the Get Life podcast was one game, it would be Saints Row. Like if I was to compare it with a game, Saints Row.
Oh gosh.
It's just random and crazy.
All we need now is like purple dildo bats, and we're set.
Yes.
Oh no!
We need those.
No,
Tyson, can we have those? Use your secret budget to buy us those. And, they exist. I'm not joking. They exist. By the way,
that secret budget is to research fanfics. It's not to buy you purple dildos.
Well, guess what? We literally have
dildo
a budget
bats.
just for that now.
Oh right? Yeah, dildo bat budget. We have that. I'm gonna be ordering some. So, what colors do you guys want them in?
No.
I'll take in any color as long as it's purple. So.
Okay, I'll get you a purple one. I'll probably go for a green one.
No.
Actually, no. Can I have
Tyson,
mine as like a
you have to
massive
agree with
tentacle?
this.
Nope.
Yeah, you have to.
Nope.
Sam, what about you?
Nope.
Sam's not gonna answer. I think I freaked him out.
I'm just gonna nope out of here. Nope.
Like I said, how about tentacles? We can have tentacles.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's too far.
that's cool. if we had those.
Okay, back to Attack on Titan, please.
Yep.
Attack
Anyways,
on Titan. A question for you guys: what did you think of the Titans? Their design and what they do and stuff. Like, what's your favorite Titan?
Obviously, the female Titan.
Yeah, because that's the only one that actually fought. You know, the other Titans have either A, just casually eaten people, or B, gotten the shit kicked out of them. So honestly, when I was watching the show, I didn't pay much attention to the Titans because they're just they don't have any personality, right? They're just antagonists.
They're
right?
just big
an
lumping
opposing
things.
force.
But that's what we think. We think they have no personality. We don't know.
Mm-hmm.
They do not have any personality. Being a manga,
But we don't know about the colossal Titan or the armored Titan.
or big-
I know about that,
personalities.
but
because you read the manga, so
I don't want to spoil anything. But
no, don't. If
still
if it's manga, don't spoil it.
I'm not going to. Anyways, in the manga, not the manga, the anime, I think
Okay.
it's kind of clear. I think everything that Titan is the most interesting because she's the only one that can, actually kick ass, like Eren's ass. Actually puts up a fight, right? The other Titans are just there. They're just like foot soldiers. There's nothing that really, sets them
what
apart.
my opinion on the Titans are? I believe that the Titans are really crazy. I don't like the way they look. They freak me out. Their design, especially because for some reason they're all males except for the female Titan. I haven't seen a female regular Titan, but the regular Titans are the scariest ones.
The one that killed Eren's mom is probably the creepiest in my opinion. He has that smile.
Yes, and I was just like, oh my god, I'm gonna go to sleep tonight and I'm gonna have nightmares, and I don't know what I'm gonna do, and to this day I'm really scared of that Titan. For some reason, it's just like repressed memories like come up and like, oh no. But those were scary, and there's some really weird looking ones, and like the really small ones. I think not the 4 feet Titans. For some reason, they're not 4 feet. What am I saying?
Meters. Very short.
Was it a 4 meter Titan and a 7 meter Titan? Those ones. The shorter the Titans are.
How big is 14 meters for those who are more familiar with the metric system with the number?
I don't know. We are a UK podcast, so we'll be using meters.
Oh my gosh!
That's how they explain it. That's how they explain it. So it's like the 4 meters. It's 4 meters. I think. I don't know. I don't want to explain this.
3 and something.
I don't care, Kevin. Let me finish what I was gonna say.
I'm being discriminated. I'm gonna hand my resignation letter.
Go on then.
Sorry, Merca. No one cares about your system.
Exactly. Canada,
and
we have more people that use our system here. All right. Sam uses our system. I believe Kevin uses the system as well. Yeah. I use the system. So let me get back onto
everywhere
point.
except for America.
Exactly. Even Japan uses the system, and we know that because it's in the anime. Done. But seriously, I've realized the shorter the Titans are, like the lower the class Titans, the cuter they design them. And I don't think they're cute, but they have like anime eyes, and you know what I'm talking about. Like, they look less creepy. But
I would not want
in making them cuter, they look really creepy. Like those really short Titans, like the smallest ones, have like really big kawaii eyes, and it's just like I don't want to meet you in an alley because that's really creepy. Big eyes like that, like anime. Oh, kawaii desu, and with a really creepy smile. I don't like that. It's really, really creepy. They remind me of Teletubbies for some reason.
Oh my god! Oh no! Teletubbies with Titans? No.
Yes. Oh my god! That.
Attack on Teletubbies. Well, coming soon.
Oh, that needs to happen. That needs to happen, because that would be really fucked up. But
it is
the
really
other Titans. The other Titans I'm alright with, except for the Colossal Titan. He's really weird, like no skin. Like I can't imagine. That's the one thing I didn't. That's the one reason I didn't watch the show to begin with, because he's just muscle. Weird. Yeah, for me it's weird. It's muscle. Like I can't imagine a human being, because I thought it was a human being. Like I didn't know Titans were giant things. I thought this human being has no muscle. What happened to him? Was he skinned alive? But I don't know.
Remember the Titans have an usually high temperature, so it's fair to assume that all their skin has burned off, especially the bigger ones.
Yeah, but other Titans.
Eren's skin didn't burn off though.
Yeah, he didn't get his skin burn off, and neither did the Armored Titan.
No, but
Armored Titan doesn't have his skin burned off. It's just like he had certain parts of his body where
I personally want to know more about the Armored Titan because he's such a badass, and he only appeared like once in the whole anime.
It was the same with the Colossal anime as well. The Colossal
Titan appeared like
shit.
no, the Colossal Titan appeared 2 times. But
wow, 2 times.
But I'm not really interested in the Colossal Titan. I'm interested in the armored one.
But he's a Titan that they use for like all the cover art and stuff, and I'm like, he has to have something to do with the story.
Well,
like, some big
does.
part.
Big because he's like the more resembling one, like the most iconic one. He's just basically this giant covered in like muscles and whatnot.
Yeah. I mean, he's the biggest Titan. He's also the first one that they've seen in 100 years.
He's
the one
like
that reaches
50
the wall.
meters tall or something.
Okay.
50 meters. That's
he's
a lot.
significant to the story, so I guess that's why they chose him as like.
He is, yeah.
Like,
But he's
for the cover
the
art.
most. For me, he scares me a lot. Imagine him you saw him at nighttime in your bedroom. That would freak me out. Seeing any Titan would freak me out in real life. I wouldn't know what to do. I wouldn't know how, like, the UK would deal with it, like a Titan attack. We wouldn't be able to. I don't think.
All right, so I have a question for you because it is also and I'm gonna go back to the characters because maybe it's unusual for a shonen show as well to have so much focus on the secondary characters. Like, okay, so the primary characters are all defined, like we're talking Eren, Mikasa, and Armin, but the secondary characters also get a fair share of TV space. How do you feel about that? And who's your favorite secondary character?
I like the secondary characters, and it's nice to see that they do get some airspace. My favorite I forgot his name now. Damn it! The guy that
he does?
Jin?
No, what was that? Was that guy that was like the bald guy?
The bald guy, Connie.
Yeah, he was cool.
Connie, yeah, Connie.
Yeah, he was cool. And the girl that likes to eat. She's a girl after my own heart there.
I know her name. I
Potato
have it on the
Sasha.
Sasha, yeah.
Sasha. Sasha Brous.
Yeah. That would be nice.
She always had a potato or something to eat.
I found it was cute as well.
I personally wonder why she didn't get fat. Because she was always eating potatoes. That's carbohydrates. Or she was eating a piece of meat.
Because of anime
But
magic.
the thing is, it's 3D. Yeah, she's always exercising all the time. 3D maneuvering.
3D maneuver gear that also helps someone lose weight. I don't know.
Yeah, it does.
I didn't know floating in the air
like
will make you lose weight.
Hey, she also had to run like 50 laps a lot. She always got punished during
because she was eating.
Because of her love of eating.
And
So
bear in
burns fat
mind,
that way.
she's not eating food that we eat today. Everything's ration. Food is rare, like essentially. So she's technically more nourished than everyone else, but technically everyone is kind of malnourished if all they're eating is bread and potatoes. Let's be honest. But you know, she's a woman after my own heart there because she's cool and she likes to eat, and I like to eat as well. And she's amazing. Another person I like is the
big question: who doesn't like to eat? That's why we're fatties.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
If you're not fat outside, you're fat inside.
It's true. But you know, she's cool. I can relate to her a lot. But she's also a coward as well, to some extent. She's really scared.
I wonder why didn't Sasha die in the armory battle. I didn't understand why, because she totally missed her shot. And I'm surprised that she didn't die. And think she was saved by Annie. I think it was.
I'm not sure.
I can't recall right now.
We really don't know. Maybe she has some sort of significance in second season. I don't know, but we have to wait and see. Another character I like as well is that really muscly guy. Not muscly guy. The guy who's like second to Mikasa, the blonde guy. He's cool.
Second to Mikasa.
In terms of skill level.
Also in terms of rank, Reiner.
Yes,
Oh, no.
the muscly blonde guy. He's cool because he's just badass. Like when the female Titan like was gonna squish him, and then he chopped off the fingers, and I was like, dude, I respect you so much. Like I respected him from the beginning because he seemed genuine, not like the other guy, the douchebag who liked Mikasa. I don't like him.
Jing. I think,
douchebag.
but yeah, I don't like Jing either. To be honest.
Yeah, like Gene is all right towards the end because he like when he was like, oh, I'm gonna not avenge this guy's death. Like I thought he was a douchebag, didn't care about anyone else. But when his friend died, and I was like, yo, sad times, and I was like,
like okay, Gene, people die. You're leaving the apocalypse. Move the fuck on.
No,
Hey, well, why don't
you can't say that.
Why don't you say that to Mikasa and Eren then?
Exactly.
Probably.
Exactly, Tyson.
Probably.
Exactly, Tyson. Thank you, Kevin, for saying that. Because that's
saying.
the one thing I respect about Gene is the fact that he actually has emotions and he's not a total bitch. At the beginning, he was.
He was,
And
yeah.
towards the end,
he was like Gary. He was Gary of the anime.
Although I will commend Jing on being on having the guts to actually enlist in the Survey Corps instead of going to the military police, because it was like, dude, this is what you've been fighting for. You want to be in the military police, and then you join the Survey Corps? Like, that big.
He just wants Eren to notice him.
So we're dealing with another show that has a senpai complex. We're dealing with another one.
Yeah, it does. Every anime has senpai complex, and
Senpai
I'll point out where I will always I'll say that until the day I die. And in this anime, it's obvious that the senpai ship is strong. I forgot who.
It's a fight between Armin and Jean, probably.
Yeah, I think Armin is one of the people like senpai. Notice me.
I'm not surprised if there's a ship of them. I'm not surprised.
Oh God,
I wouldn't be surprised either. Jean, I wouldn't say Jean really cares about the whole senpai thing. But his friend, his friend was more senpai. Notice me, like his friend that died. He's irrelevant because I can't remember his name.
I can't remember his name either. But
he was very senpai. Notice me. That's what I think. People are gonna hate on me, but I don't care. That's my opinion.
So Marco. That was
Marco.
That was Jen's big.
He was cool, but he was always like, oh, you aren't a leader, but you have these qualities, and I'm like, dude, just kiss already, alright?
I forget. What does Marco even do in context of the anime, though? Because later on, I know he does stuff in the manga, but in the anime, like,
he's dead. That's all he does. He's dead.
Oh, wait, I'm thinking of the other guy, Reiner's friend, Berholt or something. I can't pronounce the damn name.
I don't know.
You know who I'm talking about? Guy Reiner's always with like black.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
I think it was Connie, the one who's always Reiner.
No, it wasn't Connie. Connie's bald. This guy has like short black hair. Like, his name
I know
like,
who you're talking about. He used to
Berholtz.
hang out with him. He used to hang out with him when they were training. Oh, I forgot his name. I know who you're talking about though.
Here, I'll look.
I don't think Sam will save us this time. He won't.
Oh, he might.
Or he might.
Sam, save us.
Sam's from Berthold?
Fubar. Another thing I noticed is that there's a lot of German characters in this
Because
anime.
it's set in Germany. Is
it set in Germany?
Yeah. Yes, it is. You guys didn't know that?
Wow.
It's like
I didn't know
alternate system.
I know there are references to
Because Eren Jaeger, that's a German word. Jaeger.
The main theme song
is also
German.
in German.
not completely. Not completely. It's like
Parts of it is.
Of course, they can't have the entire thing in German if they're going to listen to Japanese.
Exactly, but the fact that Attack on Titan's story is set in Germany, that's news to me.
Yeah, I did not know that. To be honest, I thought it was like in this like not wasteland. I thought it was just a random place that they didn't really specify.
Exactly.
Because they were saying, the rest of civilization and races and stuff and all of this kind of things. Like Asian people were rare. Like that was weird for me.
Died out. From what I understood, it's basically our world, but alternate history, whereas almost everyone was wiped out. Like the last stronghold that is known at this time in anime would be like some place in Germany or Europe. We know that because there's some like French people, like Levi is actually Levi, which is kind of like French,
Wow.
and Jean, Jean. Yes.
Yeah, Gene, yeah. Another thing is, I've realised, is there no British characters? No British characters.
Maybe the Brits are just like just hanging out in Britain.
It's just
like,
the king.
We don't know that. We don't know that Titans can swim. Maybe the Brits were just fine. They're just life is normal.
Maybe we are the Titans. Mind blown. I don't know. I'm going on.
Whoa! Wait, are you implying that Brits are giant beings that eat people?
We might be Titans, and that would be pretty kind of awesome to a certain extent, but very terrifying.
That would be terrifying.
What do you think, Sam?
I would not want to fuck with Britain if they were Titans.
No, you never want to fuck with Britain, because just remember, Kevin.
Just imagine the Queen is a Titan just walking around.
No, don't say stuff like that. That's what do they call it?
Sensitive subject.
Yeah, no, don't talk about the Queen like that. She's cool. Leave her alone.
No, she is cool. I'm just saying, like. Alright, let's leave the subject because it might be controversial.
Because the Queen might not like maybe she is a fan of Attack on Titan. What do you think, Sam? Is the Queen a fan of Attack on Titan?
I think the obvious answer is yes.
Maybe she might be. I think she is. What
anyway.
if she does like massive cosplays and stuff, and she's like, "Oh, guess what? We're gonna have Titans! Yay!" That would be really odd. Oh, imagine if we had Titans on our money. That'd be cool. Yeah.
Titans on our money. That'd be interesting.
What? Are we betting money on Titans now?
3D MG.
Well, I was talking about how cool if like there would be Titans, Bish was talking about what if like the British were Titans. I mean, British people were never mentioned in the manga.
Yeah, probably made some sort of thing in here. All right, so I already had a question. Do you guys have a question?
I didn't get to answer the question.
Before we move on that, Sam was saying that the Queen might have her own 3D maneuvering gear. I wouldn't be surprised if like there's someone in the world that actually has one of those. Like Bill Gates has the money to make something like that, or develop something like that. He probably already has that. Yeah, he might have. He might have teamed up with Dr. Jaeger, and then done some weird experiments.
Dun.
Don't we?
Yeah, this is where it goes. Microsoft is trying to control the world. Just put that. No, I shouldn't be saying this. We're recording on Skype.
Exactly. Hypocrite.
Sorry, Microsoft
Hypocrite.
overlords. Just so you know, guys, Microsoft are awesome, and I'm not being paid to say that. And my family are not being held hostage at this time.
Oh my god.
Let's move back onto topic.
That escalated.
It did. Continue, guys.
So should I start with mine?
Yeah, of course.
So probably I'll start with my least favorite and generally go up to my favorites. My least favorite secondary characters would be Annie. I mean, she's kind of like the secondary character Mikasa in the sense that she has no emotions. You know what? I would say that if Sasha's potato has a greater emotional range than Kristen Stewart's Annie and Mikasa combined. I'm just gonna say that.
Wow.
You can't say that. The potato gets eaten, dude. So you're saying she's...
That's fine.
That is, yeah. It's
The
a massive
potato
burn.
has a wider emotional range. But anyways...
No, quick question. Because when that potato gets digested, it's going to turn into shit. So are you saying that shit is more, like, important than Mikasa?
Oh my god.
And has more relevance? Answer this, Kevin.
Well, I don't know how that came to be, but I did say potato. I was implying that the potato stays in the state of potato.
Okay, okay, cool. You saved yourself from a lot of stuff now.
Anime is so bitch to manage to turn into something disgusting, but in the disgust there's also laughter.
It is hilarious though. To be honest, for some reason I can imagine that her potato has a cute face on it, and if it was me, I would draw a face on the potato. and have it as a friend. You know, like that thing. I forgot which film it was from or which TV show. Wilson. What was it from?
What is it?
Wilson. Maybe you're too young to know the reference.
I don't know.
You guys are useless.
Anyways,
I don't watch
I
I don't watch a lot of UK shows. Excuse me, princess.
It's not. It's like I think Tom Hanks was in this film.
Okay, but Castaway.
You don't
Castaway.
remember?
That's what.
Well, sir. Yes, and he was talking to
Yeah.
this wall. Like,
Now I remember.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
Kevin.
I didn't watch it.
Continue.
Anyways, yeah, I just find that Annie sort of interesting for the same reasons Mikasa, just as a character. But I did get more interested in her as a character later on. They show the flashbacks to her past, right? So I was like, ooh, that's pretty interesting. What happened? Why is she a Titan in the first place? And why is she?
And the thing with her father as well, that was a bit weird for me. Like, which father tells her that his daughter to go and destroy the world? Essentially, that's what I gathered from it. Like, this guy must have a really bad
and the thing is that Attack on Titan finishes, at least the anime, finishes without the viewers knowing what was her motive. Like, why big?
That will be explained later.
Then that will be revealed in the second season.
But since we're evaluating Attack on Titan like on its own, like, I don't like cliffhangers. That was a cliffhanger. That really was a cliffhanger.
Well, I think that in its own defense, I think cliffhangers do generate hype. That's a good thing, right? I mean, if you want to know so bad, then maybe that'd be a reason that would push you to read the manga.
Yeah, of course, because in the end, the whole point of having an anime, in most cases, is to promote other stuff, other media related to that story. You know, whether it's light novels or manga or merchandise or whatever.
But the thing, the thing that generates hype, at least for me, was that the wall, when it crumbled, it showed the eye of a Titan. That created hype. That created, oh my god, there's gonna be a second season. But Annie just crystallizing herself. I don't know if I would call her that she died while fighting. Is
No, I don't think she died.
It was really anticlimactic, and for me, a cliffhanger. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it wasn't going to end. I still find that the ending was. I think while it doesn't close everything, as you know, you expect it to close all the loose ends because it's going to be continued. But I still think that the way it ended with Commander Eren having the discussion. It's pretty nice. I mean, if you don't have a cliffhanger, that kind of kills all the hype for the second season. I think. True.
Because then people won't need to watch it.
Yeah, you want to find out what happens next, right? That's what driving you to watch the second season.
Mm-hmm. Hi.
Can I talk about? Let me talk about Gina now.
Yeah, of course.
So, personally, of all the characters, including the main ones, I think that she probably my favorites, just because, like I mentioned before, Eren is really hard-headed. He's straightforward, really determined, strong-willed. Right? He doesn't hesitate to put his life on the line to get his revenge, things like that. While Jean, at multiple moments in the anime, he wants to be heroic and stuff, but he hesitates. Right? And that's the thing that makes me like him the most, because out of all the characters in this show, Jean to me seems like human. He has emotion.
Yeah, I agree.
He reacts according to. He doesn't react. He doesn't act because it's what heroes do. Things like that. He cares about himself, right? It's just a human instinct.
Mm-hmm.
Because personally, like, if I were going to face Titans, fuck no, I would run away.
And that's
right?
That was what most people did when.
Yeah, exactly. It's a very human reaction compared to the other characters that just jumped.
But the thing is, the other characters had some sort of reason or something to motivate them. Really, I don't think he didn't really decide to fight Titans until really Marco died. Essentially, that's what motivated him. Eren, it was his death of his mother, and of course, Mikasa likes to follow Eren, so that's the reason there. Same with Armin as well. But they had reasons which made them fight Titans, and I think, yes, he's the most human, but he also had his reason. Because Titan, like, I don't know how Marco died, I'm not sure, I don't remember, but still, that fueled him to join the recon group, and, you know, to be a badass. Just saying.
Yeah. As for the other characters, I find that they're either decent or just kind of two-dimensional. It's like, regarding like my opinion on Sasha, I think that she's the comic relief. She's not supposed to be a very
Sasha's the comic relief, definitely.
True.
Yeah, she's comic relief. Like to put in contrast to all the darker themes anime.
She reminds me of Chie from Persona. Essentially,
but she is more useful. Sasha's not really. She only gets airtime, and she doesn't do anything badass. Like, for instance, any of the other.
But she steals the meat. She steals the meat, which is badass. You know, she's a daredevil. She does things that no one else.
If that was true, she would fight Titans.
But everyone fights Titans, but not everyone steals meat from rations. All right, that makes Sasha the most badass character. She's a daredevil, and she doesn't care what other people think. And leave her alone, guys. I will defend her.
Are you defending crime?
Yes. No, I'm not defending crime. I'm defending Sasha.
Anyways, you could argue, be like, hey, Kevin, I'll get your opinion. She's a comic relief character. She doesn't need to be deep. She doesn't need development. I argue
no, she doesn't. It's still, true. She doesn't.
I will, as I was saying, don't you think it's possible to have a character that is there for comic relief and have a good backstory? I mean,
yeah,
just
but
because
at the same
you say,
time,
it's a comic relief character, it's not really an excuse for her.
True, it's not an excuse, but you need a comic relief character, and without it, this anime would be really, really, really depressing, especially like everyone dies.
It's basically the apocalypse. So
even it's not. It's that, and you know, the whole it relates to a lot of stuff that actually happens in real life today. You know, people being sent out to war and just dying, or like corrupt governments and stuff like that. And even the whole thing with Mikasa, with her parents being murdered, and the whole human trafficking thing, that stuff like that happens. And I like how this anime is like, I'm not sure if it was meant to do this, but it relates to a lot of stuff that actually happens today, and maybe it's trying to make some sort of point out there that, you know, as human beings we all need to work together, you know, despite our differences and whatnot, to overcome hardships and kind of get to that final goal. Essentially, maybe that's the point the anime is trying to make. Maybe it's not. I don't know. I didn't write it. You know.
Fair enough.
I still think that yes, she is important as a comic relief character, but I just wish that they would elaborate more on her personality and on her family. I mean, they sort of do that in Manga, you know, just a tiny bit, but it's not enough to be
they reveal
to
certain things about her, like within the first season, like she's from a hunting or farming community, hunting community, and she's like lived in like the mountains and stuff. Like, we didn't know until the end of the anime that she did that. And she was kind of useful
it was Sasha that said that that the female Titan scream was a similar sound to what a corner fox would do when, and that's when it's the most dangerous. I think it was.
Yeah.
But still, I find that she does have a little bit compared to the other some of the other characters in the anime.
I think based on that alone, I think Sasha would be a good fit for the Survey Corps, especially with that hunting sense, with that hunting experience. So she could be quite useful, at least. And I hope that trait of Sasha is used more in the second season.
I hope they develop her more as well, because it would be a shame if they just had her as a Kevin said.
Also, it would be nice if the second season would be something it's nothing similar to it's similar to a Game of Thrones episode where everyone dies. That would be really cool.
I think they've kind of, I'm not sure because it's all probably based on the manga, but I think it's like, hey, guess what? I think they've led it to a certain point where enough people died in first season. Now second season, I'm guessing we're gonna learn more about Jaeger and the basement and stuff, because I really want to know what's going on in that basement.
I think the second season will center more around that, because it's basically the humans take the fight against the Titans and they actually have a chance instead of
and they use Titans as well.
Yeah, exactly. I think the obvious question here is, okay, if Eren can become a Titan, can he learn to harness his true power? Like, for instance, he cannot transform into a Titan at will. Also, are there other people who can transform into Titans? Like,
I think so. No, I honestly think so. I think the Colossal Titan and the Armored Titan have to be controlled by humans. Because I think so, because they wouldn't be smart enough to go and think, oh, guess what? We're going to knock down this wall. Only a human could think that.
Yeah, sure.
Can I comment on that? I mean, actually...
Yeah, sure.
I don't want to spoil it. I'll just be frank, okay? You guys are on the right track. Because if you remember right, the second time the Colossal Titan appears, Eren notices that he goes for the cannons. He swipes his hand at all the cannons and destroys them, right? So that proves that he's intelligent. That. So, and even in appearance, the Colossal Armored and Female Titan all are kind of similar in the sense that. But
if we're going to the realization that those guys that the Colossal Titan and the Armored Titan are both human, why would they side with Titans? Like, what's their motivation?
No, but that's the thing. Like,
that's a mystery. Yeah.
It's probably like I don't know, because it kind of relates to what's her name, Annie, because her father was like, oh, kind of destroy humanity and whatever, because he's extreme butthurt in that sense. Maybe something happened to him, and maybe he's some sort of criminal mastermind. I don't know, but what I do know is that this will probably be explained, because they can't just be like, hey, guess what? We're not going to explain anything, because then it would just make this anime so shit that I would want to throw my computer out the window. And I don't want to do that. But I think a lot of stuff will be explained when we actually see what is in that basement and what that key does. Obviously the key unlocks the basement. But another thing is, that whole town got destroyed, and how the hell did the basement
it is
survive?
Underground, so it's like most of the houses in the US, especially in tornado-heavy areas, have a basement. So basically, if the house gets blown over, usually the basement survives, and is usually considered a pretty safe place. So I suppose if the Titans didn't step on that area, I guess you could probably much say that the basement is still going on around. It probably won't have a door because the house is a wreck.
It's been destroyed by a rock?
Yeah, but
the house was destroyed.
If it doesn't have a door, then the key is pointless.
I don't know.
It's a cellar door, so it might be on the ground.
Most of the basements, don't even, at least to my knowledge, don't have like a floor door. That's usually left for the attic. Like, you go up the ladder and then you unlock the door on the roof. But I'm not so sure that's for a basement. Like, it usually has a door and then you walk down. There's no door.
No, because I think we see the door in the anime, because I've seen the door, and we see it intact. When his father was like, "Oh, go back to
isn't the game
our house,"
but isn't that a flashback?
Open the doors
instead of
to some extent, but you see a lot of rubble around, and so that's the door. There is a door, and But another thing that I really want to know, and it's something that you've mentioned about, like, oh, what are the Titans about and whatever. Like, we find that out, and I want to know, why did his dad do that to him? Injected him with some stuff, and why put him through that? Because yes, he does want to. I'm guessing he has good intentions, but he doesn't seem like much of a good father to actually put his son through that much pain and that much trauma, mental trauma, because he had like, I would say, shell shock from what happened, being injected, and he was like scraping the ground with his hands, and it must be very traumatizing for him. And it hurts him when he becomes a Titan and he bites his hand. I know he gets healed and whatever, but it's emotionally straining, it's mentally straining and physically straining. That's
precisely because why I want to know more if Eren is ever gonna truly harness his power as a Titan, because if anything we've been shown on the second arc is that it can practically transform into a Titan at will. If we're judging Eren's ability as a Titan, just like Eren's a novice and he's like far more advanced, and he can go to do that. That's probably what I want to know, to be honest.
Well, I think because he has amnesia. That's one thing. We kind of find that out. He forgets a lot of things in terms of what happened to him, but it's gonna be revealed. It's like they can't have that not revealed. And yes, Annie does know more about her. She's really prepared. She has that ring that has like a blade in it to stab herself. Like, dude, like she knows what's going on. She knows how to control it, and she knows all of that. But yet she still got beaten. That was another thing. Like, she's so advanced, like you said. Yet she still got beaten by Eren and his Titan, which went really crazy at one point. Which was badass. I think I wish I had a Titan.
In a way, they're trying to show the disadvantages of being a Titan, and also it kind of led me to think: can people who can transform into a Titan, if they lose consciousness, like Eren almost lost, can transform into a Titan indefinitely? Like, were all these Titans human beings at some point? That's personally what I'm wondering as well.
I don't think so. I really don't think so, because he can be like, if that was the case, then when you take him out, like when you kill him.
But if you recall that when Eren kind of like started to fall asleep and then lose control to the Titan, he was kind of like starting to mold into the Titan skeleton, muscles and everything, and we're already talking about that Titans have an unusually high temperature, so it's not completely out of the question to say that Titans were humans at some point, because with the internal temperature of Titans, their bodies may have been melted.
Maybe, but that's an interesting theory, and I like the point you're raising here, because it reminds me of a theory of evolution here. But maybe the Titans are some sort of step up, because they do look like human beings. They have hair, they have beards as well, like really fantastic beards. Actually, the guy that ate Eren at the beginning, I was like, that guy has a cool beard.
Although I do have to wonder why, if we're gonna go with my theory as being true, that Titans were once humans, then why are so many male Titans there? That's the one thing I don't get.
Yeah. That's another thing. But the thing is, they really don't have gender, because they don't have any. Yeah, they don't have any.
Yeah, but if we're gonna be looking at, but that genderless theory is thrown out of the window when Annie can transform into a female Titan. So
yeah, but she does. It does not have any. Even despite the fact that she's as a human.
I think this is just going to devolve into a discussion of what is a gender, because they may not have any reproductive organs, but but personally I can differentiate before who's a guy and who's a girl.
The appearance,
that just like looking at bodily features,
It's an interesting theory.
I know what you mean. It's just another thing is, like, they can't reproduce either. Like, that's something. Like, how are they so many of them if they can't reproduce? Well, actually no. They should be. There was something that was mentioned. I think they can reproduce, but we're just not told how they are reproducing.
Like,
And actually, in this kind of discussion, actually kind of reinforced me on my theory that Titans were at one point the humans.
It's plausible actually, and that was something I was thinking about during it, because they look so much like humans. But what about the shorter Titans, who really don't look like human beings? They look like kawaii characters, and it's kind of, they freak me out. And those ones that have there's this one Titan that had really misshapen jaw, like his jaw was open.
Oh yeah.
Like, and I'm like, that might not be like not human. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, he doesn't seem like he could be human.
Well, he still has like a humanoid aspect to him.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm starting to think that not all Titans are human. There's a possibility that some are, but I don't think some. But at the same time, they could be children. The short ones could have been children.
It's really, really possible.
That's a very,
because they do have the cute eyes, and in anime they
eyes,
tend to draw kids with those eyes. Yeah,
but
and
those
it's
seem to be adults now. No, like even though they're short, I think that like in terms of appearance, I don't think I've seen any Titans yet in the anime that actually look like kids.
I think I have. They're not really noticeable, but the shorter Titans tend to have those really cute eyes, and they tend to grin a lot, and they have children's hairstyles. I think personally, that's what I think. Like the taller ones tend to be like really older. They have grey hair or whatever, and those abnormal Titans as well. They're weird. Those ones that walk like spiders or some crazy stuff like that. Like, are they genetic mutations?
I think it's that. I think it's genetic mutations because or that, or just some crazy people just took a hold of that Titan and they just rolls with it, I suppose. Because if you recall,
another thing
during the Survey Corp expedition, they identify most of the Titans as abnormals. Like those were the ones that they had to fight, huh?
Aberrants.
Aberrant.
They're called aberrant.
Aberrant, yeah. Okay.
Aberrant, yes.
But another thing I don't like about Titans is the way they run. It looks really creepy, especially with they're always smiling.
Yeah.
No, regular Titans as well. Like the way they run is so weird.
I need to send you guys this GIF if I can find it, but it's like this GIF with that one aberrant Titan that shows up during the exhibition Beyond the Wall, and it runs really fast, but it's so weird because it's like its arms kind of bent in a way, and it looks like a kid that is skipping, but like extremely fast. So
yes, I think that's what I was talking about. It's so weird, and I'm like, no one does this, and how can they run so fast? But the one things I liked about this with the female Titan and the Eren's Titan is the way they run, and the motion they have as well. It's very fluid. It's quite scary as well in a sense. Like imagine that charging at you. I would shit myself. Just like I think one of the Levi's group actually they were talking about on your expedition you shot yourself or something.
I do know who you're talking about, but I don't remember his name now.
One of my theories, honestly, about the Titans is, even though I know like their origins in the manga, up until now, even now, I still think that there's something that convinces me that the city that we were shown in the anime is not the last stronghold. I'm thinking that perhaps there's another city out there somewhere that uses Titans as weapons, and sent them out to attack the city that we're seeing that's shown in the anime, right?
That's interesting, actually. I didn't think of that. It could be plausible because we do know that there's some people living outside of the walls and whatnot, to a certain extent. It could be the case. I think it could be the case.
Because why would like you mentioned earlier, why would humans help Titans, right? Like why would Annie help Titans?
Yeah.
So
why would humans help Titans? Or probably they're using Titans. Maybe they've manufactured Titans. Maybe it's a group.
Exactly.
Maybe it's a group of people that manufacture these Titans from human beings.
And I'm actually starting to wonder about the connection of Eren's dad with the whole thing.
I think he was the guy that done it, like first done the experiment, and he was like, I know everything because I made them.
That would be a serious what moment, at least for me.
I think so. I think that's what he did. But,
that would be cool, though. It would make sense.
It would. I think it would make sense. It's a logical answer. I don't think everyone would accept it, but there you go.
But like, how would you explain his knowledge of the Titans? I mean, the fact that he's implying that he's knowledge of the Titans stored in the basement, and the fact that he literally transformed.
What if he's bluffing? What if he's like, yeah, I know everything about Titans?
What if it was just
he knows
like
nothing.
a stack of like morn mags in the basement?
It's like one day I'll show you, son.
He did say that.
Like a bunch of playboys. Oh my god, this makes. I think that Kevin, what you said, could be real. That's why his, no one else. He didn't show it to anyone else, and he only gave it to his son. He trusted him with his porn collection.
Best theory. I think that's the most plausible one.
Oh my god!
And that's why it survived. What if they finally go to his house and like, Dad, you're such a pervert.
And he just still in the cellar as we're speaking.
Oh gosh.
Fat. Oh my god. Oh man, it wouldn't be the Get Life podcast if you weren't.
It would be
going
on.
But yeah, another thing I wanted to mention was the music of the anime. What did you guys think?
I think it was fantastic. Like
I agree.
Just as I thought of Lost Tempest, whereas the music, I think Lost Tempest complements the scenes very well. I think the same with Attack on Titan. I think that if you were to watch Attack on Titan muted with just the voice acting, it would change completely because one of the music just complements the scene so well that it would not be the same without it. Like
movies without music, they don't work. Like.
Yeah, music is such a crucial part of this anime.
It is not only crucial, but it is essential of any multimedia art form. It really is.
It is, yeah. But I think even more so in this because it's used so well. It's not like in Free where there's like drop the beat once they dive in the pool. This was
you'll find that in Eternal Summer there's a much more better score. You'll find.
Well, I hope so. But going back to this, like even I agree. The music is fantastic. It works with pretty much everything. Like it's a soundtrack that I would like to listen to in my spare time.
I liked it because there was German speech in it, both the first and the second.
Not really.
To be honest, it's not just that. But
yeah, it's not just that. I think
for me it was like. The fighting scenes remind like the guitars that come in. It was like, oh my god, this reminds me of Dynasty Warriors, and I love the Dynasty Warriors soundtrack, and especially when the Titans are fighting each other, the music that goes through. It's like for me, I can imagine working out to that music.
I like it.
Just like motivational music. It's like you want to go.
I'd like to add something because the one guy who's responsible for producing the anime also worked in Death Note, and Death Note for me has an awesome soundtrack as well. Like it really gets the mood going, and I'm just gonna agree with you guys on Attack on Titan as well. Like the fight scenes, the whole music, the score, like it really fits. And also we're talking about apocalyptic times, so I can understand to a point the use of orchestra. I can understand the use of like a shower or I don't know what that's called, but it was pretty awesome. It was really awesome. Like it really advocated the feel that there's a rush, like this is mankind's last stand. It really like the music really did deliver home that message. It really did.
Yeah, I have a question. What is your favorite? Well, since I'm assuming that you guys don't know the songs, the name of the songs. What was your favorite scene with music in it?
I have to say one of my favorite scenes was when with music. I think it was when the Titans were fighting and he had those guitars playing, and I was like, yeah, fuck yeah.
Between Annie and
the final fight scene, and I was like, fuck yeah. This music just got me pumped, and I love it. What about you, Tyson?
A particular fight scene it wasn't really a fight scene, but the one track that plays when Eren is all hopeful atop the wall, and then the colossal titan pops in. I also had a laugh, but the music was so appropriate that like the selection of music, the one that go like, oh my god, shit is gonna get real. There's a titan in your face. Like, what are you gonna do?
And it's like, surprise, motherfucker.
Exactly.
No, but I was like, wait. When I was watching that scene, I was like, wait, no, this can't be real. This must be a dream. Where the fuck did that titan come from? And Eren, he just finished his speech, right? His epic speech. And now all of a sudden, the fucking titan pops up, and he's like, shit.
But the thing is, that titan can teleport to some extent. It can disappear on cue.
Yeah.
No, if we already established that that the colossal titan has intelligence, and what other thing has intelligence? Humans. And
So,
when a person transforms into a titan, there's like this big jolt coming from the sky.
And the giant steam cloud too.
Yeah, and the giant steam cloud as well. Like that looks like the transformation of a titan, like of a human into a titan. But I can't help but wonder if the human responsible for the Colossus Titan was listening in on Eren's speech, and he was
I just waited for that moment.
They waited for that moment. Boom! Here I am, motherfucker.
Kanye West kind of. I'm gonna let you finish. But
I'm gonna let you finish.
That's how I felt it was like.
That was probably why I laughed so much at that scene, because it was a Kanye West interrupting
like, Eren,
moment.
I'm gonna let you finish, but Annie was the best Titan of all time.
I do agree.
Yeah, I also agree. I have a question and a comment.
Can I answer the
sure.
question? Alright. I don't know if you guys felt it, but the one that struck me the most, that kind of hit me in the feels, and I like it was so perfect for it, was, you know, when they're returning. When they're returning. Yeah. No, they're not returning. It's during the expedition beyond the wall, right? They're in the forest,
second arc.
And Eren's in a dilemma, in impasse, where he can't decide whether to transform and attack Annie, or whether to continue riding, right? And he just sees Petra and Levi's squad get butchered, and that music that plays right there is just so perfect that I think that's probably my favorite moment in the anime, because it just felt so tragic, because before there was that glimmer of hope, right, that everything was going well, and suddenly, bam, everyone dies. I mean, I was completely petrified in that scene, and I think the music was just spectacular. It really hit me in the feels. I don't know if you guys have felt that too.
Yeah, I felt the feels so much.
I was shocked, yeah, but more the part where the fact that it wasn't the female it wasn't the like Annie in her female Titan form that killed get it, petrified. Oh my god.
You're such a legend.
Yeah.
You need to be the director of puns.
The director of puns.
Yeah.
So I guess it also reinforces the testament that the music choice and like the moments are really well chosen.
Do you know who the composer is, Tyson?
The composer of what?
Of the soundtrack. Is he?
I don't have the composer. I don't have the composer of the soundtrack, but I do have the guys who made the intro and the outro songs. I have them right here. But since no one mentioned that their favorite track was either the opening or the ending, so just gonna withhold this information.
Oh,
anyway,
to be honest,
really
I found them mediocre. I've heard better anime intros and outros. That's why I didn't really comment on it. Neither did I like it, nor I disliked it. So,
yeah.
All right. So I have a comment to make on the pacing of the anime, because I grew up disliking Dragon Ball Z for how it paced its episodes. Like, okay, so one episode is like this 5-minute fight, and then another episode it has like 10 minutes like of just I looking on the enemy, And I kind of felt that way with Attack on Titan because I'm just gonna give you an example, or hopefully give you an example of what of the issue I have with pacing on this anime. Remember the Survey Corps expedition?
Yeah.
That was one day. Like, we're talking from day to night. We're talking about maybe 7 or 8 episodes just to summarize the events of one day. Really?
Well, it was a rather adventurous day, I must say, though.
Yeah, but you could probably resume it in lesser episodes. Lest we forget, like 3 days later, when because the whole Survey Corps plan to capture Annie was also made in one day. Took like 3 episodes from between luring Annie to the spot and then the fight that happens in the town.
Well, to be honest, the way I think about it is I don't have an issue with the pacing, because I can see this anime becoming a long running series, similar to Dragon Ball Z or to like Fairy Tail, but that's another issue. I find that I wouldn't compare it to Tempest, because I know Tempest had a similar issue where they would just stay in one area for like 15
Yeah, especially
episodes.
like the first half.
Yeah, it was like that in Tempest, but I feel that this is justified in Attack on Titan because there is a lot going on, but the one thing that annoys me, and this is my only gripe, is they always use the same, like, oh, it's you know that whole next time on Dragon Ball, like last time on Dragon Ball Z kind of thing. They
Okay.
can tell you what happened, like in the last episode. I
Okay.
don't like that because it's always the same thing. It's always the same information. Doesn't matter if you're 4 episodes in or if you're 7 episodes in. It's always the same information, and you
I
always
thi-
see the same scenes. Like, I don't want to see that. I understand it's because, you know, it's been shown, like, this was probably being shown like weekly or whatever, and there was probably like a hiatus between, and I don't know how it works, but it's freaking annoying that every week, even if I was watching this while it was being simulcast, it would have been extremely annoying to get a recap of it every episode. I don't want that.
I'm gonna agree with your premise, but I'm gonna play it to 13.5. Did I really need an episode explaining the whole events of the first arc, especially if I've been watching it? Like, I personally found it pointless, but the recap, I'm gonna have to justify it a little bit because I'm gonna assume this is true for all of us. But we were mostly binge watching Attack on Titan. Like, all the episodes were already available when we started watching them. I think some context of what the story of what has happened, especially with a story focused so much on secondary characters, especially and if we're taking, for instance, the Survey Corps expedition. Like Kevin told, there was a lot going on, and I still don't agree with the focus it puts on such things. I think that was a weakness that I felt on Attack on Titan. But that's just how I felt, because it was really pointless to kind of like spread the events of a single day, 8-9 episodes, something like that.
Well, regarding, I'll say the same thing I said in Tempest. It's sort of what you just said. We did binge watch. Like, I binge watched up until the 20th episode because it was still airing, so I couldn't binge watch it fully. You have to keep in mind that when an anime airs, when they're making anime, you have to keep in mind that the people who are making the anime are trying to make it. They're trying to market towards people who are watching it while it airs, because that's anime is supposed to be aired on TV, right, and not on the internet. And if you didn't notice, there's actually a gap between the release of episode 13 and episode 14, just like there was in Tempest. And in Tempest, if you recall, there's also a recap episode. So it's not uncommon.
The thing is, Kevin, we don't need a recap every episode. Like, even in the second episode, there was a recap. I don't need a recap.
Not the. Yeah, I agree with that. I'm talking about 13.5 exclusively here, where the almost entire episode was dedicated to a recap.
No, I can understand that. I mean, like, whole stupid 3-minute recap. Like, I skip those recaps because I'm like, I don't need to know. Like, after seeing it the first time and then seeing it on the third episode, I was like, I don't need this.
I'm gonna venture a guess, and I suppose I'm playing devil's advocate here. Is that Attack on Titan was very taxing on the people who did animation. So it's usually a practicing animation to kind of like reuse stuff that they can use. So what those recaps did is kind of like boil down the work that the animators had to do.
Essentially,
if you want to put it that way, yeah.
It was sawdust in a burger. That's like the weirdest analogy ever, but it was like that. It's not needed. I would rather have the anime 3 minutes shorter.
But would you rather have the anime a week longer, or because this anime had a schedule? For instance, I'm looking at the original air date here, and what I'm seeing here is that there wasn't, for instance, between the finishing of Arc 1 and that recap episode, which I personally found pointless, and the start of the second arc, they were still maintaining a weekly schedule. So what I think happened here was that that Attack on Titan was so taxing that they had to resort to these kind of tricks that are usually used by animators. That's the reality of it.
I understand, but that was really disappointing for me. You were talking about animators, and I just want to talk about the animation style. It's something I enjoy. It's a really weird animation style for me, but I like it. It reminds me of Danganronpa, mainly because they have these really thick lines, like thick outlines, which is interesting because not a lot of animes have these really thick outlines for characters and whatnot. This anime does, and
it's an art style mostly.
Yeah,
it's quite nice, and especially the way they can show emotion on faces, which is great. I remember when Armin, he was going through shell shock in the sense.
When Eren was eating,
yeah, and his eyes were like really wide open, and it looked like that he saw. It looked like he saw something traumatizing.
If there's one thing that I want people who haven't watched Attack on Titan to take away from this podcast, is that Attack on Titan is beautiful. It is really beautiful. It is beautiful in animation, in art style, and I will fight anyone who says that Attack on Titan isn't beautiful.
No. It's completely beautiful, and they've taken loads of times. And the thing is, what I'm worried about is that would second season maintain this? Because
that's. I'm sorry, Kevin. Because this is something that happened with Fairy Tail. Apparently, they assigned it to a different team within the animation studio, like season 1 and all its arcs. And they had one art style, and then the second season it seems to be switched to a different team who had a different art style. It's kind of like jarring. I think that's the best word to put it. Mm-hmm. Here's hoping that second season of Attack on Titan is done by the same team that did the first season. But I can only hope.
Yeah, we can only hope, and probably we don't know how big their team is. Maybe they might have expanded their team because of how popular this anime is. That might be the case. If that is the case, they'll probably continue with the same art style. But honestly, I don't know. I hope that it is the similar art style, at least, because it's extremely beautiful, especially with how they draw landscapes and buildings as well. Like, I felt like, because when in certain animes it tends to feel like, oh, this is Japan or something.
Yeah.
But you can tell that this even the characters, the way they look, like, you can tell that not all the characters are from the same place in the world. There's like distinction between everything, even between houses, between divides, between social divides as well. Like the king looks completely different to one of the generals, for instance, and it's shown. And the clothes are different. It's incredibly amazing, and
it's incredibly
attention,
detailed.
The attention to detail is amazing. That takes a long time to do, and I slow clap for them as well.
And also we're talking about anime. I had a shot at animation, and it's really, really difficult. I couldn't imagine a team doing art this beautiful and having the responsibility to animate it like that. That must have been hell. But if the popularity is any indication, it was worth it. It was really, really worth it.
I think because they've taken so much time on the art itself. I think that's contributed to why it's so popular.
Yeah, I personally watch it for the art style. That's what brought me into Attack on Titan. And while I may think that it's an okay shonen show, but I always take away that how beautiful Attack on Titan
of course.
was.
I think out of all the animes I've seen, this is one of the best in terms of its animation style. And
I agree.
I want to see something top that.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
even the spin-off Chibi Attack on Titan OVAs were also beautiful as well. Even when you expect a certain art style within Chibi, I have to say I think it also looked beautiful.
To be honest, in regards, I've seen certain like screenshots and whatever regarding the Chibi version of the OVAs. I don't like it. It freaks me out. I don't like it. And
I would like to disclose that in regard to merchandise. I don't know if you guys want to add on that. I personally own an Attack on Titan Chibi shirt, and it wasn't the one that I was looking to buy, but I thought it was so cute and I had the money, so I bought it. Sadly, I'm not wearing it for this episode as I used it earlier this week to go to work, but it's a shirt I enjoy taking out in public as well. For those who understand the reference, they're like, "Oh, you're an Attack on Titan fan?" Like, yeah, hell yeah, I am.
Well, to be honest, the reason I don't like it is because I don't think it's an anime that kind of suits the whole chibi style. Yeah. And no, maybe I'm wrong, but the thing is, like, when I think of chibi, I think of more shoujo stuff. I think of K-On!, for instance. K-On!'s chibi, when they were doing that for the K-On!'s OVAs, were pretty amazing. They were badly drawn, but I love that. It was really crude, but here it's so refined, and I'm like, no, I don't like it. Leave.
Yeah, but you have to remember that the chibi OVAs weren't supposed to be gag episodes, so I kind of had to applaud the fact that even within their dire situation, they can find some humor in it. Probably Kevin can add in a little bit more on this. How do you feel while watching the OVAs?
I was about to comment on the animation of the show, but on the OVAs, I agree with Bish. Although I don't think I disliked it as much as Bish, I thought it was okay. All right, I'll say okay regarding the animation of the OVA. It was done by a different team. I believe the chibi art was done by a different team. I know that. I don't know whether the animation was handled by a different team, but I found that one thing I didn't really like about the characters is that the eyes I found was kind of weird because they had these swirls in the eyes, and I didn't like that. I'm not used to seeing.
Yeah,
I'm
that's really weird.
Enemy eyes.
And the cheeks as well, I don't like. They're too chubby.
I mean, they are cute
Just saying.
as chibi characters are supposed to be. I just find that it's not the best chibi art I've seen.
Yeah.
So I rate it like okay to mediocre in terms of the art style. In terms of the main animation, I agree with you guys here. It's very beautiful. The animation is really smooth. The art was really smooth. And you guys were mentioning thick lines earlier, right?
Yeah.
And that's really interesting because the manga, if you take a look at the art of the manga, it's radically different from what they used in the anime. And I think it's one of the rare cases where I would actually prefer the art in the anime rather than the art in the manga. Because in the manga, they used the way the artist draws, he used really thick strokes, and there's black everywhere. I mean, if you Google Attack on Titan manga right now, you'll see what I mean. And in contrast, the anime, I find that the outlines are really smoothly drawn. The animation is really fluid. And
the thick outlines kind of threw me off because when I think of thick outlines, like in characters, I usually think of what's this art style? Cell shading. Attack on Titan is not cell shaded like at all. Not even a replica. So personally, I'm kind of interested in probably reading more about the particular art technique used for Attack on Titan. At least the anime. I haven't seen anything from the manga, or very little stuff.
On the OVA though, how many episodes do you guys watch? Because I only watched up until the third. I've been before.
I haven't seen anything of it yet.
I have to say, well, it is funny. It does provide comic relief in comparison to the main series, which is rather dark. I find that there's some gags that just get really repetitive. I mean, within the first 3 episodes that I've seen, the gag has been repeated at least 6 times, and it's like where the Colossal Titan appears out of nowhere and meets them. And it's like the first 2 times it was like, oh, it's pretty funny, right? But then like they do it a 3rd time, a 4th time, 5th time, 6th time. You're like, this gag has outstayed its welcome, and it's getting repetitive now. That was how I saw it. What do you think, guys?
Although I haven't seen it, I don't like it when jokes are being reused. But that's all I have to say on it.
I will agree that that the Colossal Titan eating some of the characters did overstay its welcome, but sometimes it's welcome, sometimes it's not. I wish I could recall specific examples, because it has been a long time since I last watched the Chibi OVAs. But there was this particular episode that was a highlight for me. It's when Keith, the corp leader, gives everyone an exam, and apparently Eren failed. And then when Armin offers to help, and then I think it was Sasha and Connie were also in the exams. And I think the whole highlight of it was that Armin looked cute with glasses on. That's those type of glasses where I thought they looked cute. And I'm probably weird for suggesting this, but like I say, I don't really care. Armin look cute. End of story.
Honestly, true facts. I actually missed for like the first few episodes. I always confused Armin with Historia. Holy shit! I thought he was a girl. From what I've seen.
You talking about Armin and the goddess?
Yes.
Woman. Yeah, they look like twins, and
yeah, they do.
They do, and this is the perfect bit. We can move on to ships from here, because this is the most important. The bit about the podcast, the ships, and I know you guys like it. So,
this is a staple of Get a Life Podcast Kunai.
Yeah,
the
it
ships.
is. It's just, yeah. So I think, to be honest, the goddess, I want to know more about her, and I ship her with Armin, because I think they would make beautiful babies.
No. I think that she deserves way better than Armin. No. I disagree with your ship. I'm
gonna fire the cannons on my ship, because
I will sink your ship with my torpedo, as we said last time.
Yeah.
That gag I would say is welcome. The whole torpedo thing.
Maybe.
But that's an interesting ship. I mean,
I like that ship, and another ship I have is what's his name? The blonde guy and Annie.
Rainer?
Yeah, Rainer and Annie, and for some reason all my ships are blonde people. Just, yeah.
Oh my god!
There's a lot of blonde people in this anime.
There is, because like you said, this is set in Germany, so Europeans tend to have blonde hair and whatnot. But it's quite welcome. Another thing is it's just a coincidence that they have blonde hair. I think Rainer and Annie, to begin with, I was like, these guys need to get together. They're both really strong and really like badass.
Speaking of strong and badass, I'm surprised you did not mention something like Annie and Mikasa.
No, I don't.
I was expecting that.
I think Mikasa is. I can't ship her with anyone other than Eren, but that's because the anime is forcing me to do that. So I don't want to do that. I want to make my own ships. I don't want to be forced. I don't want to be forced with my ships, so that's why I'm not mentioning Mikasa. And yeah, another ship I would say is Marco and Jean.
I have to say that
because why not?
Jean would have a very hard time romancing Corpse, though. I have to say.
Wasn't he? I think him and Marco would be a perfect couple, in the sense that they remind me of an old married couple in that sense, and I like that. I really do.
What are you, Tyson? Do you have any ships this time?
I thought I said that I wouldn't participate in this segment.
Oh,
but
come on! I thought you meant that was only for that one episode. Come on.
okay, I'll amuse you. I really saw. I don't recall if it was fan art or was it official art, but I saw a picture of Historia with Mikasa, and I would ship them both so hard. Like,
Interesting.
Historia.
The goddess.
She's like the other. She's like the other blonde girl.
She's Krista, the goddess. Talking about.
Krista?
Her real name is Historia.
Okay.
That's just another name for her. But her real name's Historia, so I just call her Historia.
She's so cool.
Anyways,
so that's my ship.
That's it.
That's my ship.
All right. For me, I was about to say that I don't have any ships in this anime/manga, but I just remembered because I read the manga, and I feel like they kind of implicitly slipped the manga, and maybe they might do that in the anime in the second season. But Ymir and Historia.
All right.
Yeah, I think everyone's ship has Historia in it. Cause look at her, she's. Oh my God.
But like, there's the other ships. I don't mean to like degrade your ships. I mean, there's the other ships, and then there's the ship with Historia and Ymir. I'm just saying.
Oh, whoa. I think any ship with Historia works. You can ship her with anyone. Essentially, you can do that. Because she's so cute and I'm like...
So kawaii desu.
Yeah, she's cute.
Kawaii desu ne. But this, sorry, it's late at night and I don't know. She's there's something about her and I want to know more about her and why she's so cute. Like she must have
pleased the manga in the second time.
I want to see what her parents look like for her to be this cute.
You will be very, very pleased, my friend.
Or about her parents.
Because you learn a lot about her in the mangas and in the anime.
I hope she's like a princess of some sort.
Oh my God! You guys!
Now you're starting to get bitch interest in the manga.
Wait, is she a princess?
Oh my God, are you guys fucking psychic? I swear to God!
She looks like a princess. Because she's very beautiful. So, I thought she would be a princess. I'm in a sleep-deprived state, so maybe this bitch, when I'm in a sleep-deprived state, I become psychic of some sort. That's my superpower. I don't know how it works, but I didn't know she was a princess. And
today I learned.
So
wow. Are you cheating? Like, are you sure you did? Are you sure that this was your first time watching Attack on Titan?
This is the first time. I haven't seen manga. I didn't even check on the wiki. I just saw a picture of her, and she looks like such a princess.
And I'm so sorry for listeners. I didn't mean to spell it. Well, it's more or less important, but that's the only thing that I'll comment on. I mean, it's like I can't just stand by and pretend I don't know. Okay, it's just hard. Like Bish has psychic powers or something. Oh my God! Oh.
And on that note, why don't we wrap up this episode?
Yeah,
because
I think this was a really nice episode. I enjoyed it. I hope you guys as well enjoyed it. And yeah, remember guys, if you want to give your suggestions, be sure to use the hashtag on Twitter, hashtag GLAPkunai.
GAL.
Yeah, and that's how we'll see it. And
also,
yeah.
also before we leave, we want to remind the audience that you can watch Attack on Titan if our rambles were interesting enough to watch the anime, or I don't know. I don't know. You can watch it. Like it's really popular. You can watch it on Crunchyroll. You can watch it on Funimation. You can watch it on Hulu. You can watch it on Netflix. Pretty much.
Toonami as well. You can watch it.
Toonami's doing Toonami's doing the dub. We haven't watched it, so we can give opinions, or rather objective opinions.
I like the dub.
The dub's okay.
It's quite good.
It's better than typical dub. I mean,
okay.
Yeah, it's better than normal dubs, but
I would still prefer the Japanese So.
Yeah, I still prefer the Japanese, but the English dub is quite a good dub. I'm not gonna knock it. Just saying.
Okay. Yeah. I haven't watched any episodes, so I can't give an objective opinion. I suppose.
You guys want to mention our Twitter handles so people can tweet us with their suggestions?
Well, you just want more followers, isn't that right, Kevin? Just want more followers. It's alright. You guys can follow me on Twitter at Get Life Podcast, and of course you can follow these other two people, my lovely
Other two people.
co-hosts.
the other two people.
other two people.
We're meaningless to this podcast.
No, I said. You didn't hear what I said afterward. I said my lovely two co-hosts. Listen. Listen. I'm
See,
giving you a
Tyson, at
compliment
least
here.
one of my senpais noticed me. Oh my god.
I will
I'll
never
always
get.
notice you, Kevin.
I will
Don't worry.
never. I will never acknowledge you, Kevin. In regards to Twitter, my handle is at Knaye, KNNAYE _. You can find me there.
Not to be confused with Kanye. It does happen quite often with them.
Yeah, it does. It does.
And my Twitter handle is the Tempest Phoenix. So the Tempest spelled as normal would, with Phoenix spelled as FENIX.
And also remember, you have to do it with the caps.
Yes, that is
because
important.
he's not going to read. He's not going to read your tweets.
I will refuse to read your tweet if it's not like spelled
That
correctly.
did not acknowledge the caps.
Yeah, you need the caps.
Respect the
in there.
caps.
Respect the caps. Because Kevin's serious about this.
He really is.
Yeah,
He really is.
And you know, his feelings get hurt when he gets offended. And I don't want him to commit seppuku because of this. You know, it's all right, Kevin. It's okay. I understand.
Oh
You don't need
gosh.
to do that to yourself. All right. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Get Life Podcast Kunai. Yay! And you can tell that I was really energetic to begin with, and now I'm just super tired. The reason is because I haven't. It's like really late here. It's almost.
It's like
1 o'clock.
12:46, right?
Yes,
It's almost 1 o'clock.
that's the exact time. Thank you for that. I can read my own watch.
Oh, sass.
Hey.
So today I learned Bish gets sassy when he likes
All right,
sleep.
we need a rap battle next episode.
Ooh,
Okay.
Don't tempt me here. You're probably not gonna get a rap battle. You probably just. I'll hug you.
I suck at rapping anyway, so
Yeah,
I don't know how good you are.
I'm
Well-
not good at rapping. I'm
well,
good at
but-
hugging. I can hug you, maybe.
All right, I'm giving you an internet hug right now. There you go.
I'm
And
hugging
we
my screen. Is that-
And
is
we
that right? That was warm,
Thank-
but that's probably my screen.
Thank guys for listening in. This has been Get a Life Podcast Kunai, the Attack on Titan episode. Say goodbye, guys.
All right, bye.
That's my line.
No, it's not. No, it's
Okay,
not.
farewell.
Auf Wiedersehen.